we could finally have some action, starting as early as today with DeAndre Ayton. We believe that the Indiana Pacers are very close to giving DeAndre Ayton an offer sheet or executing a sign and trade. The Pacers had to do some business over the weekend and complete the Malcolm Brogdon trade. That is now on the verge of happening, and that is opening enough cap space to almost give DeAndre Ayton the max contract he is looking for. We could see something with the Pacers and Ayton as early as today. The whole league is waiting to see is the next big domino to move. And of course, nothing can happen in this league very long without talking about Kyrie Irving, who came to WNBA game over the weekend and then went to Vegas to watch the games in the Thomas & Mack Center. The market on Kyrie remains frozen. The only team known to have interest is the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Nets have given out the vibe that they want to do a Kevin Durant trade first before moving on to Kyrie. So Kyrie will be welcome to games. The Nets would be happy to have him attend some of their summer league games, but I think he's played his last games for the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, fair enough. That's fascinating, and it does dovetail into our next piece of business because, outside of Kyrie, everything is very normal right now with the Lakers. Oh, no, it's not. So I'm flying back the other day, and the only thing on Twitter is that Russell Westbrook and LeBron James were at the same Summer League game and did not sit next to each other. They did not talk to each other. They did not address each other, and the entire world now is trying to read into that. So, Wendy, again, I will start with you. What should we make of the fact that LeBron and Westbrook are at the same Summer League game and did not appear to interact at all?
Well, this was more about Russell Westbrook, I think, than LeBron, Greeny. Westbrook is trying to make it clear he is fully invested in the Lakers. He doesn't want to get traded. He wants to stay there. So he comes to the game, sits on the Summer League bench, and starts talking and encouraging the players during the timeouts. He is fully invested. LeBron was moving through town as a part of normal business. I think LeBron would like the Lakers to upgrade their roster. The only way they can functionally do that is by trading Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook knows this. Darvin Ham, the Lakers' new head coach, spoke during the Lakers game last night and talked about the plan that he has for Russell Westbrook. He talked about him setting screens. He talked about him being a corner three-point shooter. Now, I had Hembo look up the stats. In 78 games last year, Russell Westbrook set 57 screens. 57 screens in 78 games. He did shoot 45% from the corner, but he only shot 29% on spot-up threes. So I appreciate what Westbrook is doing, but I think that's really where the drama is around what Westbrook and Darvin Ham are talking about. I think LeBron's like, I know who Russell Westbrook is, and I'd love to see Kyrie Irving if that's possible.
Friedel, jump in here.
Greeny, it's cracking me up listening to this because on one hand, the Lakers would love nothing more than to move off Westbrook's contract. But you've got Darvin Ham repeatedly coming out and saying, hey, I've got this plan for Russ. It's going to be great. On the other hand, here are the Nets with Kyrie, and Sean Marks a couple weeks ago is like, we want guys who want to be here. And he was talking directly to one guy who was Kyrie. And the thing that it was hilarious the last couple days out here in Vegas was Kyrie was out here, yes, but he was here to watch a Pistons game. And I'm talking to some of the Nets summer leaguers yesterday, and they're like, yeah, that's on him. He can do what he wants. We know he's there for us. But the whole situation is truly bizarre. The reality, though, is all signs still point to Kyrie ending up with the Lakers at some point. But, Greeny, I've got to tell you, I'm sitting in Thomas & Mack last night. It was about an hour before that Laker game, and there's a rumor going around that Kyrie's going to show up with LeBron and sit courtside. That would be something, and the drama that surrounds that Laker team would be incredible. And after going through what the Nets did the last few months, I'm sure they're sitting back and saying, okay, Rob Pelinka, you want Kyrie, please just make it worth our while, and we'll make this happen at some point this summer.
It's just a remarkable set of circumstances. And I wanted to put Dominique in this conversation for a variety of reasons. A, you follow the league closely as so many other people do. And B, you also had a role at one time in the NBA PA, right, in a leadership capacity. So you kind of understand the inner workings of the way these deals work. And so I mean, you've got these players kind of manipulating this situation. There's like 6 different people playing chess in all of this, and the players are very much among them. You got relationships like LeBron and Kyrie who couldn't play together. Now maybe they can. LeBron and Westbrook who wanted to play together. Now maybe they can't. Kevin Durant is sort of waiting on all of this. What do you make of the whole thing here, Neek?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the hardest thing to come up with is a way that LeBron can compete for a championship next year, which is all that anyone really cares about when it comes to assessing LeBron's legacy and anything that he means to this team. So even if they do pull off this Kyrie trade, I don't see that making them into a championship contender. They need a lot more things to go well, even with a big three of LeBron, AD, and Kyrie. But I would push back a little bit on Wendy's point. I guess it's not really pushing back. It's just trying to put a positive, lean on the way that we look at all this. Since Westbrook didn't set very many screens last year, maybe that is the key to opening him up. It's not that he wasn't able to. It's that all he needs to do is set screens, and then he'll start to hit a lot more open shots, maybe, and play better defense.
It feels like an unlikely connection, but I like the thought. Let me go back to that, though. Wendy, let's live in a world where the Lakers do manage to turn Russell Westbrook into Kyrie Irving. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but that does seem to be where we are right now, right? They turn Russell Westbrook into Kyrie Irving, and you have Anthony Davis, and he stays healthy, and you've got LeBron. You put the right pieces around that, it is at minimum formidable, right? I understand that there are a million questions, but if the answers all somehow came back yes, that's at least something you have to consider, no?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know where they would finish in the regular season because I don't know how many games they're all going to play, quite frankly, at this point. They certainly didn't play that many games as a group last season, but in a 7-game series, first to 4, that group is really dangerous. And that is what I think is on the minds of the Lakers fans, and certainly LeBron James. I don't think that LeBron is like saying it's get me Kyrie Irving or else. I think LeBron is saying if you want us to have a chance, we have to upgrade this roster. With all due respect to Lonnie Walker IV, that's not the upgrade that he's talking about. And so I think LeBron's position on this is reasonable. No matter how Westbrook got there, the team that they had last year didn't function well. Darvin Ham is going to make the best of it. That's his job as coach. LeBron will make the best of it. That's his job as player. But the reality is we know that trio, even if Westbrook does revolutionize his game and sets some more screens, I'm not so sure that that's going to be a contender. Whereas with Kyrie, I can build you a case that they could do something, and I think that's the bottom line.
I mean, imagine him on the Nets now with Ben Simmons. You'd have an unwilling screener setting screens for an unwilling shooter. That's the worst situation. But anyway, let's just finish this. Friedel, finish it with this thought. Yeah. You're there in Vegas. You're surrounded by literally every person in the league and every insider. Overall, is the expectation that when the dust settles on all of this, Kyrie will be a Laker?
Yes, but I'd add this caveat, Greeny. All the Nets people are sitting there looking around and they're saying, okay, LeBron, good luck, because we saw what happened in Cleveland. We saw what happened in Boston. We're seeing what's happening in Brooklyn right now. You want him in LA? Go for it.
Even if they all play together, I still don't think the defense is good enough. We look at the Final Four teams in the playoffs this year, and it seems like, and I'm biased, I'm a cornerback, but it seems like defense is what it comes down to oftentimes, and they can't play D.